From hardtails to dual suspension and XC to Enduro, we have a lot of different bikes. So today I'm going to be breaking down which Marin and Polygon bikes fit into each discipline to help you figure out if it's worth it for your riding. Hey everyone, Phil from Bikes Online, and today I'm here to answer the biggest question that we get, and it's which bike is good for insert type of riding. While using my handy tier list I've just made, I'm going to be answering just that. But before I show you that, I want to show you a handy tool that we've got on our website now that you might not know about, and that's the Bike Finder. So through the Bike Finder, you answer a series of questions and it will let you know which bike is best suited to your needs. So I'll leave a link to it in the description and let me know which bike the Bike Finder recommended to you. So let's take a quicker look at the categories in the tier list. So starting off with recreational bikes, and these are going to be great for riding gravel paths, bike paths, fire trail, and some smoother single track. So next we have cross-country bikes, and these bikes are going to be great for people that want to start tackling a bit more single track, even race some XC, or just start to dip their toes in some more technical features on their local trails. But these bikes will still prioritize climbing over descending and have around about 100 to 120 millimeters of suspension travel. Then we have downcountry bikes, which is a bit of a new category, but these are long-legged XC bikes or just short travel trail bikes. So they're going to be a little bit more capable on the descents than your classic XC bike, and it's still great for long rides where efficiency is valued. And then we have trail bikes, which are going to balance descending and climbing evenly. So you can do everything from a bit of XC to even some Enduro stuff now and then. And then we have all mountain bikes, which are beefed up trail bikes. So they might have a little bit of extra travel or a little bit longer as well. So they're going to be a bit more stable at speed. And they're really for someone who likes the playful nature of a trail bike, but prioritizes descending. And then we have Enduro bikes that are really designed to just climb up to the top of the mountain to bomb down some gnarly descents. So they have around about 150 to 170 millimeters of travel and can tackle anything from Enduro races to even going to the bike park as well. But this will be at a sacrifice for climbing performance. So as I said, big climbs for long descents. So pretty much as we move from recreational bikes to Enduro bikes, the bikes are going to get more capable at descents at a sacrifice for climbing performance. They're going to be more suspension travel to handle those more gnarly descents. And this also comes with a longer wheelbase and slacker head angle as well, so they're going to be more stable at speed. But if you want to read into a bit more detail about each of the categories, I'll leave a link to a blog post that we've done on our website and you can check that out for a bit more detail. But enough of that, let's get into our range of bikes. So first off, we have the Marin Rift Zone 27.5, and this is your classic trail bike. It's all about fun, so it's got 120 millimeters of rear travel and 130 up front. So if you like messing around on single track, having a bit of fun, jumping, pumping, manualing, this is going to be the best trail bike that we have for you. Next up we have the Polygon Xtrada that ranges from the Xtrada 5 to the Xtrada 7, and this is Polygon's classic XC rig. It does have 120 millimeters of travel now, so it's verging on that downcountry range, but it is a really efficient climber, so I'm going to put it in XC. But this is the bike that I recommend to most people when they're just getting into mountain biking and want to take it a bit more seriously. It's a great platform to progress on, and you can upgrade it as well as you go. Next up we have the Polygon Cascade, and this slots into the recreational category. This is Polygon's entry-level mountain bike. It's got disc brakes on all models, and even on the Polygon Cascade 4, it's got hydraulic disc brakes. So if you're riding gravel paths, fire trails and stuff like that, and just want to explore nature, this is a great bike for you. Next up we have the Marin Wildcat Trail, and this is the women's specific version of the unisex Marin Bobcat Trail. And I would slot this one probably into the downcountry category, so a little bit more capable on the descents than an XC bike. And this is thanks to its more roomy reach compared to the Xtrada, which we'll also see on the Bobcat Trail. Next up, we have the Marin Elroy, and this is our longest and slackest hardtail. It's a hardtail for those who love riding enduro trails, so it's going to slot right in there. It's super slack with its 63 head angle, so that's what a lot of downhill bikes have. So it's super slack and it's super long too. And it's also got a chromoly frame, which is nice and supple. So it's going to be great over those rough enduro trails where you don't have any rear suspension on this bike, so that suppleness is definitely valued. Next up we have the Polygon Cleo, and this is slotting into recreation as well. This is Polygon's women's specific version of the unisex Premiere. So again, those hydraulic disc brakes and a decent drivetrain too. And it's got 27.5 inch wheels and a lower standover, so it's going to be a little bit easier if you're on the shorter side getting on and off it. Next up, we have the Marin Bolinas Ridge, which is named after a classic fire trail in Marin County, and that's what this bike is great for. It's another great bike for recreation riding, so riding those fire trails and stuff like that. And this bike's also available in wheel specific sizing. So in those bigger sizes, which this bike does have, so if you're over 6 foot, this is going to be a great option because it comes in those large and extra large sizes with those 29-inch wheels. Onto my current bike now, and that's the Marin Bobcat Trail. And I was really surprised at how capable this bike was on the descents. This was thanks to its wide bars and short stem it comes with, really capable geometry with a 67-degree head angle and a roomy reach, and also the spec it comes with as well, and that 120 millimeters of travel. And it slots right into that downcountry category. So if you're tossing up between the Xtrada and the Bobcat Trail, I'd say if you value climbing more, the Xtrada is probably a better option. But if you want to upgrade the bike and make it a bit more capable on the descents, I would go the Bobcat Trail. Next up, we have the Polygon Siskiu N, so N for Enduro. And this is Polygon's Enduro rig to tackle some gnarly descents. But we do have something new coming soon. As you've seen in the EWS, the Pro team is riding some awesome prototypes, so definitely stay tuned to see a new Enduro rig coming soon. Now onto the Polygon Premier now. So this is the next up from the Polygon Cascade we talked about earlier. So you're gonna get a little bit better spec on this bike, but it still is really good for those kind of more fire trails, smoother trails, that kind of scenario. But if you do want some better brakes, better drivetrain, I would check out the Polygon Premier over the Cascade. Now onto the Marin Rift Zone 29, and this is one of my favorite bikes that we've got in the lineup as well, and it's a classic trail bike. So whereas the Marin 27.5 Rift Zone is all about fun, the 29 version is all about business, but that doesn't mean it can't have fun on the weekend. It's a bit longer and slacker than the 27.5-inch version, and you do get 125 millimeters of rear travel, so 5 extra in the rear, which does make it a bit more stable and capable on the descents. And there's even a new XR version that beefs up the bike a little bit, so that's going to be great for someone verging on the all-mountain side of things. Onto the Polygon Siskiu D now, which is one of our most popular bikes, and again, you guessed it, D, that's for downcountry. So this is Polygon's short travel dual suspension bike, so it's got 120 millimeters in the front and rear, and it's going to be great for people who are doing a bit of XC riding as well as trail riding as well, so it slots in great for both those categories, and that's why it's a downcountry bike. But you're getting some great spec, good value and decent geometry here that's nice and balanced, so you're going to be doing a lot of climbing and descending on this bike, so it's nice to see that it's well balanced. Onto the Marin Rockspring now, and this takes everything we love about the Bolinas Ridge and upgrades a few of the parts to make it a little bit more capable off-road. So if you are verging more into the single track side of things in the recreation category, this would be a bike that we'd recommend. Onto the Marin Team now, which was designed by Marin specifically for local XC racers. So it's going to slot right into that XC category, but it doesn't shy away from the descents either, so it could potentially be a downcountry rig for a lot of people too, and this is thanks to its 67-degree head angle and capable 120 millimeters of travel as well. So if you're looking for a fast, lightweight alloy race bike, I would definitely check out the Marin Team. Onto the Marin St. Quentin now, and this is a great trail hardtail that was designed by Matt Jones, so if you can imagine what Matt Jones like, he likes going fast and he likes having fun, and that's what this bike's great at. So it's got 130 millimeters of travel and a decently slack 65-degree head angle, which makes it sit in that happy middle ground between the Marin Team, which is the XC bike that they've got, and the Marin Elroy. So it's going to be great for a bit of everything, and it's actually quite capable too, and you'll be able to tackle some pretty gnarly descents on this bike as well. Onto my old bike that I used to ride, and that's the Polygon Siskiu T, and as you guys all know, I love this bike. The name does have T for trail, but I'm actually going to say that this one is a little bit more capable than a trail bike. And this is primarily because of the really modern geometry that it's got. You got a nice roomy reach, 65.5-degree head angle, but you're also getting 135 millimeters of rear travel on the 29-inch version and 140 in the rear on the 27.5-inch version. And this makes it really quite capable in the descents. And I feel like it did prioritize the descending a little bit more than the climbing, but it is a really efficient climber thanks to its great pedaling platform and steep seat angle. But if we're comparing it to the Marin Rift Zone 29, the geometry of these bikes is almost virtually identical, but with the Siskiu T, you are getting that slightly more rear travel, so around 10 millimeters more, and this makes the Siskiu T a little bit more forgiving. Onto our second last bike now, and that's the Marin Alpine Trail. And this is Marin's full-on enduro rig that definitely doesn't disappoint on the descents. I did ride the previous Alpine Trail model for a long time, and I really love this bike. It was super playful, but now it's even longer and slacker, but you're still getting that 150 millimeters of rear suspension, so it is still really fun on the descents like most Marin bikes, but now it's even more stable for when you're racing and really smashing the descents. Onto the last bike now, and that's the Polygon Syncline. And this is Polygon's XC race rig, and it's probably one of the best value carbon bikes that you can get on the market. So it shares most of its geometry with the Xtrada, but you're getting that carbon frame. So if you like carbon and want it at a great price, check out the Syncline. So there you go, there's our full range of Marin and Polygon mountain bikes. If you have any questions about the bikes, leave a comment below and I'll answer them. Or you would put one of the bikes into a different category, definitely let me know in the comments as well. And also check out the bike finder as well as that blog post in the description as well. And as always, thanks for watching. See ya.